HBO Max is the best streamer anyway, so it's fine. Okay,
Facts.
let's talk about Saul. So, before we go into this episode, very quickly, what are your thoughts on Better Call Saul as a show? We've never really spoken about it as a show. At least I've never spoken about it with you guys. And then more specifically, how are you finding this final season so far? James, I'll start with you. Like, general thoughts on Better Call Saul as a show.
You guys ready?
Oh my god.
You guys ready for the hottest? Hot
It's gonna
takes
be
right
This
now.
if it's
this
a
ought to
hot
be
take, then
good.
it's a wrong take. Like
Are you ready?
I have not missed this.
Are you guys ready?
Okay, what?
This show is better than Breaking Bad.
Oh, okay. That's not a
That's my
hot
take
take.
too.
That's
That's
not a
actually
hot
my
take.
take.
Okay.
It's not a hot take.
I fully subscribe to that idea.
So I did a preview episode before this season dropped with a couple of friends, Baba and Chris, and we discussed the possibility that it might be better than Breaking Bad and whatever. The conclusion we made was that we can't make a decision yet until the show is over, just like for fairness sake. But that's not a hot take. Honestly, I think that might even be like that might be almost be a cold take. Like that take is picking up a lot of steam. Like I've been kind of pushing that take since like season 4, but like yeah, no, that's not. But also, Obira, you're a Breaking Bad hater, so like I don't even know how far to take that take because you have terrible opinions on Breaking Bad.
No, I said Breaking Bad is, top 4 TV shows of the 2000s,
Breaking
2010s.
Bad is top 2, and that's the honest truth.
I don't
It's
know
top
about
2.
2 of the
It
new
is.
millennium. Actually, I don't know about top 2.
It's top 2 shows
It's
of
top 4.
ever.
I give it top 4.
That's your
But
business.
anyway,
you want to have
back
your
to
little
my
drug show or your little white Italian show. That's fine.
to drug show. That's just
Anyway,
preposterous.
how are you? Why do you like this show?
that-
Just go on.
I mean, it tells a good story. Plus, like even if you haven't watched Breaking Bad, you still
Mhm.
know you're still enjoying what you're seeing. You still like it's still really done well. But I think obviously most of the people who have watched Better Call Saul have definitely watched Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
So you already have this kind of baggage in your head about who's Gus, who's Mike, who's not Saul yet, but
Salamancas.
who's Jimmy,
Yeah.
and who are the Salamancas, and it's just seen everything come into play, and everything like it's not one punch, it's not one it's kind of just little cuts here and there and it's just laying all the seeds for what eventually happens in Breaking Bad, and it's just expertly well done. TV, script writing, cinematography is beautiful, acting is insane. Everything is done well, man. And it's so rare I'm not sure if it's ever been done before, where you have like a prequel which is actually better or arguably better than the original series.
Forget about even better. It's already rare to have a prequel that is good. Like let's forget about even better than the original. It's just good. Because I said it again in that preview episode. Anyone who hasn't listened, go back and listen to that preview episode. I was like, the whole concept of a prequel is that we know where the story is going to end.
Yeah.
Right? So we've lost kind of any dramatic tension we're meant to get. So for you to still make this work, and I referenced this in the episode I did last week, when we'll talk about this, guys, trust me, when Nacho dies. In that scene, there are 9 people in that scene if you include Gus. Sorry, not Gus, Mike. There are 9 people in that scene. 8 of them, we know how they die.
Yeah.
So the only one we don't know is Nacho. But the scene still fucking works. Like, it's still so tense, so dramatic. I'm like, how are you guys doing this? What is going on?
It's amazing, man. Plus, it's like, we know how we got to, we know like the start of Breaking Bad. We don't know how. We know where we've gotten to, right? We just don't know how, and we don't know why. And this is what this TV show is doing. And I mean, it's not easy, man. But they're just making it look so easy.
It's not easy. Like, they make it look way too easy. It shouldn't, like, yeah. Wait, what are your thoughts on Better Call Saul? The Gilligan verse as a whole, if you want.
When the show was first announced, I was like, this is unnecessary. I'll never watch this. Because, I mean,
I'm so sorry to cut you off. But, like, obviously you said that, and I agree with you. But now, if they tell me they're bringing out a spin-off show about anybody on this cast, I'm signed up.
100%.
Anyone.
I'm all the way in.
100%.
But yeah, sorry to cut you off. Continue.
No, it's just because Breaking Bad, or I guess the Gilligan verse as you called it, has always been very, very obsessed with the details. They
Mm-hmm.
love to
Mm-hmm.
show you how things come to be, even if it's over time.
So
Like they'll show you
beautiful.
the little pieces, whether it's like the little pieces of like some blown up teddy bear or like
Mm-hmm.
some stuff that's in the sand, and then you see, and then the camera backs up and you see little pieces from time, and then like you should see how stuff has like how there's like maybe an explosion. You see like the road that's singed. You see what
It,
used to be a building. You don't know what's going on,
it's
and then they never even
ridiculous.
come. They never come back and tell you, oh, this is why. But by the time you watch and see certain things, you're like, oh my goodness, this is why I saw what I saw. And they love to explain those things. So in a sense, it kind of adds up that they would approach a prequel in the same way,
Mm,
because like you said, with prequels, like they tend to not be good or even paid attention to, because we kind of know where things are going. So the only
mm-hmm.
way for to get dramatic tension is not through what, it's through how and
Mm-hmm.
why.
Mm-hmm.
And Better Call Saul is expert at how and why. We know, like you said, how everyone ends up. We know what's gonna happen, but we have also some new characters that
Mm,
we don't know anything about. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, where did these people end up? Like sometimes you think, okay, do I know this person? And you're like, no, I don't know this person. Okay,
mm-hmm.
so what is this person's fate? And my favorite is obviously like Nacho. I mean, I love Kim, but the way they've done Nacho is interesting because someone like Hector Salamanca was always a despicable person, and
Mm-hmm.
they could have had him being in that chair due to any number of things. It could have
Mm-hmm.
been some kind of illness, it could have been an accident, it could have been whatever. But they introduced Nacho, and we see how somebody who could have just been Tuco's, level-headed associate that didn't do much, ended up being somebody that they made us like. Like they did not have to make us like this guy so much, but they made us like him, and then they made him important to the story because, first of all, he's the reason that Jimmy isn't dead. Because Tuco would have killed him in episode 2
Mm.
of season 1,
Mm-hmm.
100%. That would have happened. And then he's the reason that Hector is in the chair, which is just a huge thing for the story. Like, imagine Breaking Bad with Hector
Without Hector in
Salamanca
the
being
chair.
being able to
Hec-
speak.
with
Like,
Hector
imagine he
walking.
was
It's
able
like
to
what?
talk or and walk. Like,
What are you
a
doing
Yeah.
walking,
completely
mate?
different show. Because the
Stop walking out
Salamancas
of your
are
chair.
unhinged. They are fully unhinged, which is why I love watching Lalo, because he's like the most sensible one, but he's also somehow the most unhinged as
I
well.
think I think Lalo is the scariest one. I'm sorry
He's
to
the
I
scariest
think
one
he's the
because
scariest
Scary
one.
man.
he
Tuco is just
presents
out of
as,
control.
yeah, Tuco is something else, but Lalo presents as somebody who is like palatable. Like he actually even looks like a regular guy. He doesn't look scary, but
hmm
he is scary because of that. Because like you're not sure what he's capable of. Like these guys are all monsters, and I love the way Better Call Saul does that. It brings these people that kind of stand in the gap, and we're like, okay, clearly there's something that's missing here. I've seen a lot of what's happened in Breaking Bad, and now you're starting me from this point with all the people that I know what's going to happen to them, but then there's some other people here, and I know you're not introducing me to these people for nothing.
hmm
So I'm looking forward to finding out what role these people are going to have. People like Chuck, who was like a whole thing for like
hmm
for the entire time he was around. Kim, Nacho, Lalo. I mean, even that scene from remember when Jesse and Walt first tried to kidnap Saul, and then they put him on
hmm
the gun. It's like it was
It
Ignacio.
wasn't me. It was
Yeah.
Ignacio. Didn't Lalo send you? I'm in front of the cartel. Just,
Like
just
wow,
God tier storytelling. God tier. I mean, I think is a testament to the fact of these writers, but also like Obiora said, like they knew the story they were telling from the get go.
yeah.
Is how like they can introduce three people in the first season. People like Kim and Howard and Nacho, right? And someone like Howard, there have been points where you're just like, what's this character doing on this show? Like, why is he still on this show? Right. And but then you're like, oh, this is why, because he's part of the end game. Like
Mm-hmm.
you guys always had a plan for him. You guys like I'm sure Kim, maybe they didn't think Kim was gonna be this important, or like Rhea Seahorn's performance made them change stuff, but they always knew
Oh, she's
she was
great.
gonna play a role in the end game. And it's just yeah, it's just like I think I'm speaking on that previous episode again, I was talking about how like something like Succession, which I think I still think best shows on TV, Succession, Better Call Saul, Atlanta. Those are kind of like those three are always kind of like jostling for a top spot in my head. And like Succession is like the writing's incredible, right?
Raising
It's like
Kanan.
no book three
I prefer book
falls.
two.
If you
I
say
don't
so,
watch.
I
I
don't know
don't
which
watch
is
any of
which.
them. I don't even.
But
There's a book four. There's a book four now.
is that the Tommy one?
That's the Tommy one, yeah.
The Tommy
Because
one.
I haven't
Okay.
seen that one. I
I
only
mean, fair play
watched
to 50
the
Cent, man.
original and book
yeah,
two.
man,
He's making his money. No, but like so yeah, something like Succession is like the writing is always like obviously we all spoke about Succession together, top tier, like always biting at a satire or insult or whatever. But like we Breaking Bad, like you said, just the directing, the I likened it to like a Swiss watch, how everything is just so immaculately placed, and like you're like, oh, that's why that was there, and
They never
and
show you anything for no
that's
reason.
what that glass was at the beginning of the episode, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it makes sense now. Okay, I see what you're talking about. Before we go into this episode, we just doesn't want to say anything about Nacho. You want to pour one out for our fallen soldier.
That was a sad one, man.
What
That
a
was a
death,
tough one.
though! What an incredible
Went
send
out
Yeah,
on
off.
his own terms, though. Fair enough
Like
to him.
yeah,
Jesus, that speech. Well done, man. Well done, my
yeah.
commando.
I mean, like Juan Bolsa, a very nonsense guy. Like he said, there are good deaths and bad deaths, and Nacho was able. It's like they gave him A and B, and he was
hmm
like, actually, I have no leverage, but I'm going to take C anyway.
hmm
Because it's like, if I'm
Mm.
going to die, then this should happen in a way that makes sense. And I like that he was able to trust Mike Ehrmantraut, at least in that last scene. Like, that was like the one guy really in his corner. I really, really wanted Nacho to make it. But in the world, I mean, Breaking Bad works. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, that whole universe, it works because actions have consequences. Kind of how Game of
Yeah.
Thrones used to be. Remember that back in the day?
Remember Game of
So
Thrones?
yeah, remember how that used to be when
Such a
people did things,
random shot.
when people did things, and then like we would be feeling the consequences because like domino effects. Anyway,
Remember Game of
yeah,
Thrones?
What a
that's the kind of
shot!
thing
Oh
that
my god!
that's the kind of thing that we like to see. And he gets up and he actually like pulls it himself, and he knows that Hector would want to take revenge on him after that. The sheer
Mm.
impotence of Hector shooting his dead body is like, well, I'm already dead, bro. Like you can do whatever
That
you
was
want. Like
hilarious. That was
he
hilarious.
has robbed
That the
Hector
twins
of that.
carried Hector's
Yeah,
body, and that was just funny. That was just like top tier
exactly.
comedy.
Because they knew he would
Um,
want to do it. He didn't even have to say anything or hit his little bell
Also,
or
just
whatever.
the fact that like it was the glass that Gus broke in the previous episode.
Yeah,
That it's just like, guys, you don't have to flex
amazing.
this hard.
Every
Like
fucking thing,
you don't
Truly,
every
have to
action,
flex this
every
hard when you're
scene is for a
writing.
reason.
It's
Everything is just
it's
every
just
every single
purposeful,
thing.
man. It's
I saw a tweet from like one of the kind of video essays that I watch their stuff on YouTube. And he tweeted about how like in the Gilligan verse Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, there's never been like a bad episode or a bad scene or like a performance out of place. And my immediate reaction is to be like, well, what are you talking about? But I'm just like, wait, you're actually right. I can't think of something that was just like, why was that scene there? That was out of place. Like everything just always serves the larger story. It's just very, very well done. Let's talk. Oh, Obia, do you have a final thing to say about Nacho before we go on?
yeah, man. It is. Oh man, it was. Cause I didn't know anything. I didn't know what was coming because I watched it a bit later on.
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't
because
know what was coming.
you
I
binged
avoided
them,
social
didn't you?
media completely.
Hmm.
So when that happened, I was just like, oh, like saying like what people said. I was like, is there a way like he could get wings and fly away or something?
Yeah,
Like
because
that?
like you're like Breaking Bad has done things that people have escaped. Like Walt
Yeah,
escaped truly credible situation. Like okay, like I said during that episode, I thought okay, well, they're putting these guys through so much. It was giving me strong Jesse Pinkman vibes. I was like, okay, they're
and
gonna
he
like.
ran.
I was like, they're making him go through all this so that when he gets out, it's like cathartic to us.
Yeah,
And
it's
they're
worth.
like,
He's
nope,
earned it. Yeah.
he's going to die. I was like, oh
Like this
Jesus,
guy was
okay.
running, hiding, getting hurt.
In
Fair play. Like
oil,
when he
well,
called his dad and said adios, papa, I was like, oh,
yeah, I was like, yeah, this doesn't seem like a good. We'll see you again.
Yeah, my commando man, amazing actor.
Yeah, very well done.
Sort of, isn't he like in an MCU movie soon or something?
He was an
I
MC
hope
before. I don't know
so.
if he's coming back.
It was an MCU movie.
I don't know if he's
I'm
coming
like,
back.
sort of excited to see what he does next though, because
Yeah, I'm sure definitely this would definitely open doors. I mean, like I said, he was enough on Black when earlier seasons. Like, he was just a funny, weird guy there. He wasn't anything like you didn't know he had this in him when you watched him in Orphan Black. Okay. Season 6, episode 4, titled Hit and Run, written by Ann Cherkis and directed by Ray Sehorn. Okay, so in terms of things happening, this episode is a lot quieter than last week's event. But I'll just quickly run down like what happened in this episode. So this episode begins with the earlier referenced couple on a quaint ride throughout a plain neighborhood before arriving at their home. And in a brilliantly directed sequence, it's revealed that they're actually residing in a house that has armed men, and they seem to be surveilling a house that I don't know if we were meant to know what house that was, because I definitely don't recognize it from Breaking Bad. But
Yeah, I was trying to say like this red house. Is this red house something?
yeah, I was like, is that meant to be like Saul in the future? Like, anyway.
Yeah, I'm not
So
sure what the reference is for that one.
I think the red house is just like, I think they're maybe just a random, maybe just I don't
yeah,
know.
maybe.
Normal or something.
Yeah, but then we found out they're surveilling the house, and I don't know what the house is, but that comes into play later. And then the rest of the episode really is we see the next step in Slippin Jimmy and Slippin Kimmy's plans, which essentially involves letting Cliff Main see quote unquote Howard throw an escort out of his car. Then Jimmy is met with a series of cold shoulders at the courthouse, and it's revealed that people know that he was defending Lalo, so people are angry. However, this makes him very unpopular with the criminal clientele.
Very, very popular.
And his business gets a huge boost. Elsewhere, Kim is convinced that she's being followed, and she confronts the men that are following her. And then Mike meets her. You know, this was happening in Game of Thrones as well. You know when like you just have two characters that never met just meet each other, like you guys are meeting, like
it's like season 7. I think it was season 7 when Daenerys finally met Jon
John.
Snow.
Yeah. I'm like, oh wow, you guys are meeting.
Yeah.
So when I hear Mike's voice, I'm like, oh, I'm just squealing. And then so like, but Mike informs her that he's the one following her because he's worried about the very much alive Lalo making contact with them. That's essentially the episode. What do you
like,
guys?
it's sort of like when you read that, it's like, how is this interesting? And you know, but it's like when you're watching it, you're like, oh, okay, this is happening, this is happening. It's just
What the good thing about Better Call Saul is that they can make a death in the desert interesting, and they can also make a con with an escort and like Saul Goodman look like Howard Hamlin also interesting. Like they can do all these things, and then they can make a conversation between Jimmy and Kim in a dark bedroom also interesting. It's just like this is like again god tier storytelling.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think of this episode?
I think I like the way it was tightly written. Because if you look at the runtime, it's actually shorter than the typical
it was
episode.
45 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's around 45 minutes. So it's like they had a goal they clearly wanted to accomplish here, and they kind of went for it. I mean, this is also Ray Seahorn's directorial debut,
I thought
which
that was quite good. Yeah,
we're very happy about. I definitely enjoyed seeing that. I mean, also that spray tan on Jimmy. Jeez.
That was so funny, man. I was like, what is going on here?
My goodness.
So obviously I love the show, and all these nitpicks are going to be like in good fun. But like, why did he need to look like this whole plan is from behind? Like Cliff Main could have seen the car and that would have been fine. Like he didn't see Howard's face. He didn't have to wear the suit. Like why did he have to have all those things?
Attention to detail, I suppose, because I mean, just at the beginning when we saw him carrying that cone, I was like, oh boy. I mean, the music was playing.
But Underkirk is doing a very good he's doing a good impression. Like you can see him trying to smile like Howard Hamlin. Like he's just having like, oh, let me go back to my comedy roots here. It's just it's very well done.
It was really nice, but yes, and I enjoyed the episode a lot, honestly. Even going back to what you were mentioning regarding Mike and Kim meeting, it just shows you how much of a loyal, practical person Mike is. Because we find out later in the episode, Mike actually does not believe Lalo is alive, but he's acting like he does because that's what he's required to do. And I mean, I was watching a series of videos from like the take on YouTube earlier this week, and I noticed that like 3 years ago or so, they did a deep dive into all the different characters in Breaking Bad and the side characters and how each one breaks bad. You can sort of see Breaking Bad as like a a course, not even a crash course, because attention to details, like kind of a
Mm-hmm.
masterclass into exploring different kinds of evil, like the
Mhm.
evil of ignorance, the evil of supposed innocence, the evil of like being a corporation unto yourself. Like Gus Fring is like corporate evil.
Mm.
Everything people say about corporations, like if there could be one man, it would be that guy because he doesn't do anything that would go against the goals of the corporation. Like
Yeah.
Gus
Mhm.
Fring would put his goals before himself and his own safety, which is very interesting. And I mean, the revenge is like his whole thing, but yeah, just stuff like that. I think looking at that, Mike is sort of like practical evil. And it's like he's chosen to be in this profession because he wants to make sure he leaves something behind for his family. Like Mike is essentially what Walter White claims to be.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
Walter
Mhm.
White could never, first of all. But another
I thought
interesting
he did it all for his family.
so he said. But then just for him to show up and be like, I did it for me. I liked it.
Yeah.
Man, get
At
out.
least.
Yeah, he's such an annoying person, but I mean, it's
Walter White, one
we
of the
because
worst people of all time, man. One of the worst of all
really
time.
because I mean I think I'd been watching that show for so long before I realized this is actually the story of how a guy, like, this is why they called it Breaking Bad. This guy isn't just like getting into crime. Like this is not the story of how a good guy becomes bad. It's about how a bad guy becomes comfortable with being bad in
Mm.
himself. So
Yeah.
you kind of
Yeah.
see someone like Mike, right, who actually is a good guy that has to turn because he's so practical. He turns to allow himself to be bad because of what it can do for his family. But in contrast, you have someone like Nacho who is trying to get out. So as Mike is
Mhm.
getting in, Nacho is trying to get out, and I think that's one of the reasons they're able to connect.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
so like I think it's sort of cool to see like after we lose Nacho, we see Mike kind of getting back into the whole chasing Salamanca saga because I feel like they all thought they were done with the Salamancas for some time after
Mm.
Lalo was killed, especially since they already had a story of who to blame it on. But now Gus believes he's alive, and now they have to work on that. So I worry for Kim first of all. I know they're having fun with the whole Howard plot, which when they said that thing at the end of season 5, I was like, do you guys really have to do this? Like, I hope you're joking. I hope this is a joke. And then season 6 starts with that house and like all the and it being emptied by people coming to carry stuff away. I was like, oh my
When do you
god.
think that is? Do you think that's after Breaking Bad or after Better Call Saul before Breaking Bad?
I think it's after Better Call Saul before Breaking Bad
Mm.
because Breaking
No,
Bad
wait, sorry,
essentially.
no, no, that's not what I meant to say because it can't be before Breaking Bad because he's still. I meant to say, sorry, I meant to say, do you think that's after Breaking Bad or after Gene? That was what I meant to say. So Gene being the flash forwards in Better Call Saul.
mm,
So do you think that's when he does
Oh.
Yeah,
like he runs away in Breaking Bad, or is that after Gene? Because it can't be before Breaking Bad because he's still so good man in Breaking Bad.
I think it is after the events of everything we know and will soon know, but before Gene. I think it's before
Okay,
Gene.
so after Breaking Bad, so when he does the
Yeah,
escape, so do you think that's the government or do you think that's the vacuum cleaner service?
I'm pretty sure. I think it might be a bit of both, to be honest, because the government could kind of employ such people because they're not. They don't seem like they're looking for
Interesting.
evidence. It
Yeah,
does. It does. It doesn't look like they're looking for evidence. It looks like they're just kind of clearing something from a place that like they already know exactly what happened. And I
yeah.
love how even in that sequence you can see all the different things. Like somebody did this really interesting deep dive into how Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad love to use objects. And one of
Hmm.
the most prominent ones is the Zafiro Añejo bottle cap. And you can
Hmm.
actually see it
Mhm.
fall out of the truck at the end of that
I
sequence.
mean, I did not raise up my hand. I did not remember what that was. I had to listen to reviews and what like guys. I
Yeah,
haven't rewatched the show yet, so I didn't remember
yeah,
what other things were.
it's interesting seeing that because I think that thing in particular, I think represents not necessarily Jimmy's loss of innocence or being bad. I
I
think
think it's more
it's
of
Kim's
Kim.
loss of innocence
Definitely, definitely
because
more of
remember
Kim.
she went to get it from her desk when she left her job. Like
Yeah,
she looks at it every time she wants to remember, like to sort of you know lean into her wild side, and that's one of the
yeah.
reasons I'm worried for her because like
But also,
we
yeah. No,
we don't
also
really see where
Kim.
she's gonna go.
There is no way Kim is living in that house. Like that's a
She,
house with a
there's no
gold
way.
toilet. So
Yeah.
it's like,
So
where is Kim at that point in time? Yeah, yeah.
so
So
that's the
it's like,
thing. I wonder like did he get Like, did he get that house after, like, maybe Kim wants nothing to do with him after a certain point, and then he gets that house? But I doubt that. I feel like there's going to be something else in store for Kim,
Well,
and I just
yeah, I
hope
mean,
it's nothing
also
too
like
crazy.
I said it on the previous episode that we were also focused on Kim dying, that we didn't consider just like her going full on dark side. So like, let's not
Yeah,
assume that
I
Kim that
wondered
this show
about that
finishes
too.
with Kim being innocent, or like even if she's alive, she might still just be like a
Maybe,
terrible.
yeah, maybe Kim
Like
is
she's
Breaking
enjoying it
Bad.
a lot.
She's Breaking Bad right now, isn't
Yeah,
she?
exactly. She's
There's
enjoying this
She just did
maybe
it
too
hers a
much.
bit earlier than others.
Yeah, I mean, in earlier seasons, I thought maybe she would actually like cut ties with him, but over
Hmm.
time
Hmm.
they've shown that she's willing to stand by him, which is one of her most admirable qualities. Is like she wants to
Maybe he's the one
protect
that
him.
cut ties with her because she's just like
Maybe,
batshit
Yeah,
crazy.
because like in this
yeah,
season so
maybe.
far, he's been the one who like he helped the
Yeah,
Like,
she's been the
Kettlemans, he
one
yo,
who's
gave the
are
been all
Kettlemans
we?
like, let's
money.
do this, and he's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, I
Yeah,
guess.
he's like, "Do you think
the
I
signs
should
are
talk
all
to the
there.
DA?" She's like, "Do you want to be a rat?" Like, so she's the one that's kind of like, ah.
Yeah,
So
it's been an interesting sort of table turn. Let's put it that way. And I like what the writers are doing with it. Um, I like all the ties because I think they're trying to make us see that this season is going to be this is going to be the most Breaking Bad season of Better Call Saul. Like
mm,
this, the shows are going to look more alike than ever. We're going to see more overlap. I mean, even this Wendy person, that's probably like the first sign. You know,
mm,
We've lost Nacho now, so we're as close to it as we can get. Essentially,
yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
it's been
I
some
think it
time.
was Peter Gould, the co-creator, said that once this final season is over, you would never watch Breaking Bad the same way. Like, obviously, that could mean different things. It could mean that, like, you
I'm
just now
looking
you
forward to
know
know
how
what he
Jimmy became.
means.
Yeah, it could
Yeah,
be now you know how Jimmy became Saul. It could be something as serious as like, for example, a theory that has been going on is that either Kim or Lalo or both of them is actually alive during Breaking Bad. Like
yeah,
we never see Saul's home life. Kim could be at home. Like Lalo could be alive and then come and kill Saul in the gene part. Like so, those are all theories. But my point is like there are so many ways that the story could go, and I think we have 3 more episodes left in this half of the season. Like I think this episode was a good like middle point. Nacho is dead. Salamanca thing has died out. And let's set you up for the last half of this first half. It's yeah. So
hmm
yeah. We know that. I mean, if anyone is listening to that doesn't know, I apologize for the quote unquote spoiler, I guess.
Uh
But
oh.
we know that like Walter White and Jesse Pinkman are going to play some part in this final season. We don't know how
yeah.
big or how
We don't know
small it's
when
going
they'll
to
show
be
up.
exactly. So yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what happens. I think just quickly before we even leave, I remember when we did that preview episode, I spoke about how the show, part of the whole directing thing. I don't think there's any show that does like beginning of episodes better than Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, Breaking Bad used to do it, but like Better Call Saul is like. So think about last week's beginning. Like you're like, I don't know what this means. Is that glass?
yeah.
Yeah, the
I can't
glass
The
is
see it.
on the glass.
sequences,
Yeah.
And then at the
yeah.
end, you're like, oh, okay.
You're like, oh my
Okay. And then this
goodness,
week's
wow.
beginning is just like it's 2 guys riding a bike. And like for anyone who's watching Winning Time, I kind of have trauma now watching people ride bikes. But like um
Well, shit. I haven't watched it in time yet, but
Bruh.
yeah, that was like
I'm gonna keep that comment
that
in the
is
back of my
history.
mind
It's
now.
history. So anyway, yeah, and then you walk wearing the bike, and then all of a sudden, then this house, and they're so comfortable with men with guns, and like, what's going on? And then later, you just see Gus walk through a basement to this house, and you're like, guys, man, like, okay, you guys know how to make a show. Okay, we get it. Like, it's
Which
fine.
actually even makes it actually brings up so many questions because that basement was not just built last week when Gus thought
Of
he was
course
being
not.
followed.
Of
So
course
how long
not.
does he just own both properties and those people rent from him? Like,
Yes,
I mean, there's just so many different questions. And speaking
I
of which,
I don't think I don't think it's beyond the fact that Gus owned a second property and always left it empty for a day like
yeah,
this. Like
as an
it's not
or
beyond
if he needs to
Gus.
escape from his main house,
It's
you
not
know,
beyond Gus. Like it's very on brand. But what are you gonna say?
I
Yeah,
think,
speaking of
I, yeah, like speaking of Gus and things that he was planning in this episode. At one point, you know, when he's like Salamanca is alive, and Mike says, then where is he? The
mm,
camera cuts to a car pulling up,
mm-hmm,
and it's Kim
mm-hmm,
arriving at the new office of Saul. What we know is
Yeah,
going
I
to be
thought
Saul
Lalo was going
Goodman's
to show up
office.
there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you know how we said these people never show us anything by accident.
Mhm.
What if he's already somewhere close and we don't know? Or what if that something has to do with Kim? Because why show us Kim right then and there when as the answer as a potential answer to that question?
Oh, I
Because
definitely
shows
think
do that
he's.
sometimes.
I definitely think he's close. We haven't seen
Yeah.
Lalo now for 3 episodes. Like, I definitely think
Yeah.
he's close. I mean, he said he was going back into Mexico to find proof, right? So maybe he's not in
Yes,
America, but he's definitely way closer than we think. Definitely. And I definitely think Kim
for
and
sure.
Jamie will play some part because he
Well, what
knows
kind of proof he can find? I mean, because
Nacho is
Nacho is
dead,
dead.
so I don't know what other.
But it's not.
Yeah.
But it's not Nacho. He's looking for proof for. Like they were always going to kill Nacho. He's looking for proof that will link Gus to what happened. So
But
Gus is his enemy.
that's why they
Gus
Yeah,
were
but
was
trying
the
to find
Nacho,
objective.
Nacho, innit?
Nacho would have been the best form of that proof. But I
That's why
guess
the two big twins were trying to capture
get him
Nacho
alive, yeah.
alive.
Yeah, but now they have Nacho essentially has an alibi and well a bullet. So
Yeah.
they like
Several
if they want
bullets, thanks to Hector.
if they exactly if they want if they want to get Gus, they're gonna need something bigger. And I
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
then I mean,
There's
And I'm
just
just
been this
wondering, like, what
rivalry
would that
between the
be?
two factions.
Lalo
We'll see.
is the fact I didn't even catch this when I watched the episode until I went back to listen to a podcast. The fact that he had been grooming that farmer to be his
Yes, to be his
replacement
body
dead
double.
body and had made his dental records similar to Lalo's dental records is
And they were
beyond
okay with it.
insane.
They were okay with the farm. Like the farmer was okay with it. Like
I don't think
his
no, I
wife
don't think they
was.
knew. I don't think he knew because the
I'm not
farmer
sure
had
how much they knew.
no, the farmer had like teeth problems, and they said, "Oh, go to my dentist." And the dentist was like, "Okay," like it was like my dentist make his teeth like mine. I don't think the farmer knew like he was going to make him
Yeah,
Lalo 2.0, and then he tells him to shave and but like keep the soul patch, and it's just like Lalo,
that's the
man, what
thing.
kind of that's
I thought
that's
it
incredible.
was with the shaving. That was when I thought, okay, does this guy know? Like, did he agree to this long ago? Like, was he told that like, okay, something will be left for your wife and like everybody on the farm? Because the fact that he was like, is this
Oh, I
okay?
think he killed
Is
the
this
wife
okay,
as well.
boss?
I think he killed the wife.
Yeah, he probably would have killed both. It's either
That part was
they
just
knew and he
fucking
killed
oof.
them both, or they didn't know and he killed them both,
Yeah, no,
or
I don't
they
think they
knew
knew.
and he
I don't
agreed
think
to
they
leave the
knew.
wife.
I don't think they knew because
Yeah,
when he looks up and it's like, how do I look? Kind of, I think it's like you want your boss to be like, it's this kind of cartel thing where it's like families like I want you to look good. So how do I look? And then you see, oh, this guy looks so much like Lalo in this across shot with two of
Yeah.
them, and you're like, oh
yeah,
fuck, that's the
it's
plan.
wild.
Okay,
It's
Jesus.
wild.
Yeah, Lalo is gonna come back with a. I mean, we haven't seen Lalo for so long. He's gonna come back with a bang. Next episode is titled Black and Blue, so God knows what that's gonna be about. But
Can't wait, man. I need it right now.
yeah, I'm really enjoyed it. And like, yeah, I mean, like we mentioned it when we talk about Netflix earlier, but like there is nothing better than like when a show is ending on their own terms.
Hmm.
Not that at the end of season 2, they're like, oh, next season is your final season. You're starting making all the like ends tie up,
Rushing
and they're
all
like,
tying up
yeah,
every
Yeah,
end.
they
And
know this is how they want to end the show, and they're going to go out on their own terms, and like that's just you just feel the storytelling flowing. So yeah, I'm excited. I mean, we didn't talk about it as much because I don't really want to make theories or whatever. But like Kim obviously doesn't tell Jimmy that Lalo is alive, and I don't know how long that secret is going to stay a secret. I don't know. Like she might be trying to protect him because like Jimmy said, she's made of stronger stuff. Sorry, as Mike said, she's made of stronger stuff.
because she
But
is.
she definitely, she definitely is. She
He would be
definitely
losing his
is.
mind if he knew. He
Oh
wouldn't be
yeah.
thriving as much. Like
So
he's been doing a little bit better since the lack of paranoia. And if he knew Lalo was still alive, it would be a problem.
I want to see that. I really want to see the end game of this Howard scam, man. I mean, like the fact that we now know that Howard is having a bad personal home life is just okay, writers.
Like because
Um,
we knew Howard wasn't in Breaking Bad. I just didn't think the reason he wasn't there was because like these guys basically like removed all his relevance and reputation
napalm his reputation and his
for no reason. Just so
co-
they can get a payday from Sandpiper more quickly than they would have before. Is
cocaine,
that the only reason they're
assault.
doing this?
Yeah, because
yeah.
Kim felt slighted that he was condescending to her, and then like, okay, let's get the money, and they claim they're
That's
going to
some
use the money
Walter
for.
White behavior. You know,
Oh,
that's
it's
some
terrible.
unhinged Walter White
It's
behavior.
so bad. It's like it's so bad what Kim is doing. What Kim and Jimmy are doing
Because
is
this
so
is
bad.
basically like Kim's master plan, isn't it? Because I think Jimmy would have
Yes.
probably like stopped.
Yeah.
This is all her plan. She
Like Jimmy
Jimmy
has
explained it
thought
to
they
gone,
were
him when they were in
joking.
that
Jimmy was like,
restaurant.
were you serious about that? Like, yeah, no.
and she's just like gone all the way. It's like, oh well, shit.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, excited to talk about. I'm sure we'll have you again towards the end of this show. I mean, 3 more episodes, and then I think it's like a month break, and then the last 6 come
Yeah,
out. So
similar to what Ozark did.
yeah. I wish the break was longer, just like rest and like rewatch the whole show. But I don't think
What? I thought it was only 4 more episodes left in the series.
why would you? How do you see the show ending in 4 episodes? How do
No,
if I
no,
told you to
they're
tell me how
doing
the
2
show ends in
parts.
4 episodes? How would you do
Tying
it?
up loose ends, isn't it?
There are too many ends to be loose to tie up. No, it's 3 more, then a little break, then they come back for 6 final.
Okay.
So
Sheesh,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I'd love to
we
come
have
back
9
because
episodes left. No,
there's going to be a lot.
you definitely be back. You definitely be back. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. Ibu's gonna leave us now, and then Obi and I are gonna talk about Barry
Yeah,
this
thanks for
episode.
having me.
No problem. You're
Thanks for
always
coming,
welcome back,
man.
obviously. Yeah, guys, we'll be back in a bit.